What's going on, guys? Welcome back. I had a short position today. I just wanted to kind of update you guys on the short position that I had in Ideanomics. Um, so I shorted Ideanomics today at work, actually. I took a position around 10 o'clock. It was on my break, and I tried to take a position at about $1.89. Tried to short it at about $1.89. Um, right around. So in this area, I was trying to take a short position around 189, pretty much like right around here, and it wasn't getting filled mainly because if you look at the short margin rate on Ideanomics, it's 300%, and that kind of sucked because like I was trying to take a larger position, but because the short margin rate is 300%, I could only take a position that was um, basically I could only take a position that I could cover in full cash. So I had to have 300% margin rate, which means basically that I had to have enough to cover 300%. So 100% would be however much you're shorting. So if I'm shorting, say like 130 shares, like I had here, I would have had to have 3 times that amount in actual cash in order to short the stock, because they want to cover their butt in case it goes against you. So they have these restrictions and they have margin rates in order for you to, well, in order for them to kind of protect themselves against you incurring like really big losses. So they do these things, putting in a margin rate in order to protect themselves, but also kind of dissuade people from shorting certain volatile stocks, especially cheap ones that may end up costing them a lot of money. Now, I've been shorting for a little bit. I've been kind of trading for a while, so I know kind of how things go, the in and outs of the industry, or I should say the markets, and why stocks do certain things. So I don't necessarily, know everything. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm certainly not that. But I've been studying for quite a while, a couple years, so I know how the market is, and shorting is something that scares a lot of people because of how bad the stock can move against you. So for instance, with this Ideanomics, this was at almost $4 on Monday. So this hit almost $4 on Monday, and it's been going down ever since. But last Friday they announced that they had made a big merger, or they had gotten some sort of deal with the Tianjin government on their EV. So they're trying to introduce electric vehicles into China. So they had signed an agreement with Tianjin to kind of help fit with EV vehicles, and essentially like set up like transit systems and charging stations that are basically meant for electric vehicles and electric transit systems. And it says here, like, Ideanomics confirms that Hindenburg misrepresented. So, before I said that, blah blah blah. Announced that sales center will be officially branded to the Meg Center at first. Has been managed to the joint venture referred to as the blah 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 Food Automobile Trading Center. So the JV registration was completed. Basically, this is saying that they signed an agreement with this company to try to assist and allow the electric vehicle implementation, or at least some sort of like gradual expansion into electric vehicles in China, mainly in Tianjin. These expansions will include both commercial and passenger EV sales and related services. So this is a report they put out last week, and that's kind of, they had signed an agreement for like a $4.5 million agreement with Tianjin. So that's why the stock was going up. But if you read this Hindenburg report, and this is what this is saying here, is that they had misrepresented this claim. They had been basically they were claiming something that seemed a lot better than it was, and that's why the stock shot up almost 300% within 2 days. So this is why they have these short sale restrictions and these margin rates, is so you don't get caught in a position. Say you shorted it on Friday, and next thing you know, news drops that, oh, they signed this $4.5 million agreement. It shoots up to $4, And maybe if you're scared, you'd sell because you'd be like, oh shit, this is going to keep going up. But the interesting thing is that if you really were paying attention and you studied kind of what Hindenburg was saying, and this is kind of what I was getting at, because they basically put out a report on Tuesday, I think it was, or earlier in the week, saying that they are short. So they were taking a short position in Ideanomics, IDEX stock ticker. So they were taking a short position, and they were saying that it's probably going to be pushed back down to its March lows of 30 cents. So they were taking a short position in $2.67. The short seller accuses Ideanomics of doctoring vehicle photos in press releases to suggest that it owned or operated the facility, which is actually operated by almost 100 unrelated sales groups. So basically the report that they put out about the electric vehicles in Tianjin was completely doctored and was showing that they had a bigger kind of position than they did, and that they were wholly responsible for this kind of electric vehicle movement in China, but really it was one of 100 other companies that is involved. So they were basically trying to pump their stock, and that's kind of what they had. If you go read the report, Hindenburg basically claims that this is something Ideanomics does. They kind of pump their stock and then dump it so that maybe insiders or their kind of CEOs can sell the shares at like $4 or $3.50 and make lots of money, rather than selling, like holding them or selling them at $1 or like $1.50, which it's at now. So this is something that companies do. It's a shady thing that companies do. You have to kind of pay attention, So then Hindenburg released this thing that says, we have watched IDEX's stock pump and dump on a never-ending stream of press releases over the last 5 years, and we expect this time will be no different, resulting in major shareholder losses or regulatory intervention. Buyer beware. So this is what's coming out, and I don't know if you saw on this page, but you can see that there's actually a lot of law firms that are actually offering people that have lost money to contact them, because they're going to go after the company for these false press releases. This one down here says like people that have lost up to 50,000 are encouraged to contact Kehoe Law Firm. So all these law firms are basically trying to get these people that bought this stock and are now losing tons of money because they have put out these false claims. So anyway, this is all kind of things that I was reading on my break, and I was kind of like, you know what? I'm going to take a short position in this company. And it's kind of funny because I don't hate this company, but I do think that what they've been doing is kind of shady. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a short position. Like I said, I tried to take a full short position here at 189. I couldn't get a fill. So then I kind of waited. Well, I shouldn't say I waited. I kind of like reassessed and saw like what I could actually short. So the amount I could short was about 130 shares, around $200. Not an insane amount of money, but decent. Anyway, so I shorted it there at 174.5 was my fill price. Once, like you see there, I shorted 130 shares at $1.74. And then immediately it went against me. Immediately it started shooting up. It went up to about $1.94. Basically tried to hit that like $2 mark again and was rejected. And you can see here it shot back above the VWAP. So this is kind of a little scary, but it's kind of funny because I actually went back to work at this point, so I wasn't even watching it. But I did see it kind of starting to go up a little bit, and I was like, shit. Maybe if it shoots back over $2, I'll sell. I'll cover and just take the loss. But I figured, you know what? The way that this sounds, the stock is definitely going to keep going down. So I held. And on lunch, I went and looked, or I should say around just before lunchtime, I looked and I realized that, oh man, I actually, up quite a bit on it. It was down around $1.20, and I should have probably covered there, but I was kind of like, you know what? If this breaks down towards $1 and it can break under $1, then we might be able to get some real nice, movement down to like 80 cents, 70 cents, and I would get almost 50% on the trade. So that would have been a nice, $90, $100 trade. But anyway, it didn't. It started coming back up, which kind of sucks, but I just kind of kept my position knowing that it was probably going to come up, test the VWAP, and then reject again. So I held my position until about just after 3, and around 3:15 I looked and I saw that it was around $1.40. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to cover here. no, I don't want to hold it overnight. I don't want to pay any they have like a holding fee. So if you hold short overnight, like it's not if you go long, but if you're holding short overnight, they charge you like it's like a few dollars, but still I don't want to pay that, and who knows, it might open tomorrow a lot higher. You never know, right? So I don't like to hold anything when I'm day trading. I just like to day trade. I don't like to hold and turn it into swing trades. No matter what, I was probably going to sell close to $4, whether I was even or up or even down a little bit. I was going to sell. So that's what I did. I covered around this 138.5 mark, and yeah, covered my position. You see here what I executed and what my P&L is. So you can kind of see my overall positions and my P&L here. It's $46.80. So I made about $47 on the trade. After commissions, about $40. It's not bad, and that's American, so it's like $50-$60 Canadian. And I was doing this while I was at work, so I wasn't even really watching it. I was just like making money and trade and shorting the stock, just because I read that report and I knew kind of the way things were going to go, right? So that's why I kind of wanted to take a short position. And you can see here, even now, it started to go back up, right? So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to hold short into the weekend kind of thing. So anyway, that's the trade for today. I shorted Ideanomics, stock ticker IDEX, shorted at 174.5, covered at 138.5 for about $50. And that's my trade for the day. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to trade again. I hope next week, and throughout the next couple of months I should get some rain days in which I can trade, or if I make any trades from work, I'll probably update you guys. I was trying to make a trade, I think, on Tuesday, but it just didn't get filled, so then I didn't make a video about it. But I'll probably be making another video tomorrow or the next day just about some stocks that I'm watching, and give you guys kind of another stock pick, so you guys can kind of get a sense of where I'm looking and what I'm trading, and just so I can get some content out for you guys. I'm sorry I don't make videos as much as I'd like, but unfortunately I got to work a full-time job right now, and on the weekends I'm usually writing or working on my garden or working on my plants as well, because I got lots of stuff that I'm doing. It's summertime, so I like to be outside as much as I can, but we'll see. And usually the summertime is kind of the worst time to trade anyway. A lot of people go away. A lot of traders kind of take the summer off. So I don't know. I'm probably gonna take it, go one step at a time. If I see anything to short or I see anything I like, maybe I'll buy. But for the most part, I think take it easy for a bit and just focus on working and making money. And then if I see something to trade, I'll trade, and I'll let you guys know. Alrighty. Well, that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you later.